This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. The first independent poll of the Tasmanian election has been released, showing the Liberal Party is likely to hold a slim majority. Analysts say the results underestimate the Labor vote, keeping the chance of a hung parliament alive. Labor denies it's a blow to the campaign, claiming it's on track for a strong result on Saturday.
On the home stretch, the Premier is counting down to polling day. In a boost for team morale, new polling shows the Liberals are on track for a slim majority next Saturday.
I think it does indicate broad support for the policies we've been talking about and the team I have behind me compared to what the opposition parties are offering.
The ReachTel survey shows Liberal support is just over 46% compared to Labor's 31%. Analysts say from the numbers, the Liberals would scrape through with a 13-seat majority, leaving Labor with 10 seats and 2 for the Greens, possibly pulling away from a hung parliament.
The most likely way for it to happen would be Labor getting 3 seats in Denison, which doesn't look very likely on those numbers, but couldn't be ruled out.
Labor certainly not ruling it out.
And how are you today?
Confident its grassroots campaign will secure 3 seats in Denison and Lyons to return a majority.
We've always been the underdog. Obviously going from 5 to 13 is a huge task, but we won in the federal election, we won in the legislative councils, and we believe we can win this election through the strength of our field campaign.
Can't see any way on those numbers to get them above 12. Even 12 would be very high. They'd have to be very lucky.
A drop in preferred Premier for Rebecca White has the Labor leader on 48% to Will Hodgman's almost 42%. Labor says their internal polling shows otherwise, but is refusing to show the evidence.
We've been in contact with 175,000 Tasmanians directly since July last year when our candidates were endorsed. We know the way that Labor parties win elections is by talking directly with people.
Despite the Greens on uncertain terms in Bass, experts say they remain in with a chance, including a seat grab in Lyons.
That means that with the Jackie Lambie network, if the non-two major party vote sticks together, we could have a larger crossbench than we have today.
We can absolutely win Bass and Lyons in this election. We're going to be going hard this week.
A week where everything is on the line for political candidates. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
The campaign promises continue to roll out, with the Liberals pledging money for junior sport and Labor pitching a grant for rescue services. But 1 week out from polling day, firefighters say they've been left short of major election commitments from all parties and are suffering with ageing equipment.
The election wish list from Tasmanian firefighters includes new infrastructure and equipment, but the United Firefighter Union says those wishes aren't being met.
Yeah, it's been very disappointing for our members that there's been nothing or very minimal towards the fire service or the State Fire Commission.
The Fire Commission has taken on responsibility for the SES and with it a financial hit. Firefighters say this has sidelined vital upgrades like the need for new heavy pumpers to replace vehicles almost 30 years old.
A minimum of at least 2 of those are required, if not 3. Certainly, some additional staffing.
We put $8 million extra into providing additional support for our fire service. The advice I've received is that we can confidently support the needed upgrades that the service is requiring through that additional support we've provided.
We have listened to what they've asked for. We have provided an extra $5.5 million to the Tasmanian Fire Service to make sure they have the equipment they need to go and fight fires right across the state.
Labor pledging support for another emergency service, a $250,000 grant for rescue helicopter training and equipment.
So this would enable us to train more ambulance paramedics and more Tasmanian police officers so that they can continue to assist the rescue service when there is a call for somebody to be rescued wherever they may be in Tasmania.
The Liberals are hoping to win some points with a $3 million junior sports policy, providing up to $100 vouchers for sporting club memberships for families with concession cards.
We know that one of the biggest barriers for young kids across the state getting into sport can be the fee that it costs to be part of a club.
The Greens have their eyes on an $8 million energy efficiency program, promising free upgrades for low-income households.
When you invest in energy efficiency, you invest in long-term cost of living savings.
Just one more week of promises to go. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania has swept the Australian Tourism Awards, taking prizes in 12 out of 25 categories. Our state scored 3 golds, including the Maria Island Walk and the Tasmanian Walking Company, which was also inducted into the Hall of Fame. The recently upgraded Port Arthur Historic Site took silver for cultural tourism. Tasmania also had a winner in almost every accommodation category. Sapphire topping the luxury segment and Pumphouse Point earning a bronze as unique providers of accommodation. Cycling machines dating back to the 19th century have returned to Evandale. The annual National Pennyfarthing Championships drawing in another large crowd, with many cheering on a Tasmanian trying to defend his crown.
Dressed in their best for races measured in miles, at Evandale we're cycling back in time.
It's a lot more kind of wobbly, so it's a bit scary really.
The National Pennyfarthing Championships are a traditional crowd pleaser. For the riders, this is the biggest event on the calendar, attracting pedalers and media from across the globe. But all the pressure was on a Tasmanian. As homegrown hero Darren Singline tried to defend the title he won last year. Singline started well, leading the field after the first lap, but his work was cut out at the halfway mark, with Sydney's James Fowler getting in front. By the final stretch, there was no catching the 33-year-old as Fowler crossed the line to claim his 4th Evandale crown.
You try and listen to a crowd to hear if someone's coming, listen to a commentary, any advantages you can take.
The women's winner had made a remarkable comeback to cycling. Sally Dillon was unable to walk this time last year after badly damaging her knee. Today, she became champion.
I'm only really just getting back cycling and getting full mobility, so it's been a pretty tough year.
And she certainly looked the part.
Oh yeah, pennyfarthing is. Got to bling up in style.
Another successful step back in time for Evandale's much-loved event. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
A year-long effort by 6 Tasmanians to raise money for cancer research has reached its peak, with the group shaving their heads in Latrobe today. After today's donation drive, the team will have raised around $16,000 for the Cancer Council.
We've had a really good year. We've had pie drives and raffles and all sorts of things going, and this was our main aim, to shave our heads and raise a lot of money.
Those in the group say they have lost family members to the disease.
Baskerville Raceway is celebrating its 60th anniversary with an action-packed weekend of racing. The event marking the opening of Tasmania's motorsport season. In the Aussie Racing Cars National Championship Series, Justin Ruggier took out this afternoon's race despite hot competition from local Adam Gowans. Racing continues tomorrow. New South Wales is building up a big first innings total against Tasmania at the SCG. After some rain delays in the afternoon session, the home side is currently sitting at 5 for 392. Needing a win to challenge for top spot on the table, the Tigers were on the front foot. Sheffield Shield debutant Jared Freeman dismissed Ed Cowan to bring the innings back in control. But Moses Onrix and Curtis Patterson put on a huge 156-run partnership to bring the game back in the Blues' comfort zone. Play continues tomorrow. The next generation of Tasmanian soccer players are being put to the test. Junior clubs are facing off against teams from around the nation to improve their skills.
Devonport's Valley Road has become a stomping ground for some of the state's pint-sized players.
It's an opportunity to express their skills and show what they can do before they move into more of the game training, learning more about the tactical side of the game.
Even in pouring rain, there are plenty of smiles as 7 Tasmanian clubs face off against sides from Victoria, South Australia, the Northern Territory and Western Australia.
It's just really fun, tactical, and yeah, you learn new things.
The 3-day carnival is now in its 6th year. It's designed to raise the bar for local players so they can catch the attention of A-League scouts.
Really a platform for them to go into the youth football where that might happen.
It's been very fun. It's been good to see what skills they've learnt.
And the players give it a ringing endorsement.
I just love playing it, the sport. It's fun, you get to meet new people and have fun.
Good evening. Rain fell at times across the state today with a few morning thunderstorms seen in the north. Launceston reaching a warm 25, 21 in Hobart, Burnie 24 and Devonport 26 degrees. 29 was the state's high today at St Helens, Friendly Beaches reaching 26 along with Flinders Island, Wynyard 24, 23 at Lowhead, Maria Island, Grove and Bushy Park stayed in the 20s also today with 21. However, King Island and Liaweenie didn't quite get there, only making it to 18 today. Not the lowest though, with Strawn reaching just 17. The satellite shows clouds spiralling into a pair of low pressure systems near Tasmania. A thick mid to high level cloud band is moving into the Tasman Sea and thunderstorms are seen along the east coast of Australia and the top end. On the close-up, that mid to high level cloud band is seen over the east coast, moving off further to the east, and low level cloud is moving over the state from the southwest. Tomorrow, a high in the Bight is extending a ridge over Tasmania. A trough runs through the interior of New South Wales, Queensland and Northern Territory, along with the Western Australian coast. Coastal waters expecting southwesterly winds of 20 to 30 knots, easing to 10 to 20 knots in the morning, and seas 2 to 3 metres abating to 1 to 2 metres or so in the morning. A strong wind warning is current for northern, eastern and southern coastal waters from Stanley to Low Rocky Point, including Storm Bay, Frederick Henry Bay and also Norfolk Bay. To tomorrow's forecast now, partly cloudy conditions in the south of the state, Hobart 17, 18 for Richmond and slightly warmer for Ouse, 20 degrees. In the north, the sun is out. However, temperatures staying modest as we near the end of our summer. 22 in Launceston, 21 in Devonport and Deloraine, 20. Over to the west now, Burnie a sunny 20, partly cloudy and 17 for Strawn and a cloudy 18 for Curry. Now to the east, and both St Helens and Whitemark will be mostly sunny with 19 the high and Swansea a partly cloudy 18. The UV is still very high across the state with 9s. Looking ahead to Monday now, fine apart from possible light showers in the morning for the north. Tuesday, another fine day apart from light showers in the north. And wet weather on the way for Wednesday with showers statewide. To the rest of the country now, partly cloudy in Adelaide and Melbourne. Showers everywhere else at times except for Alice Springs, which is expecting a sunny 36 degrees. And currently in Hobart, it's partly cloudy and 18, Launceston clear 24 and Devonport 20 and clear. And that's the weather for tonight, Rachel.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Carmen. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.